our second piece of news comes from videogamecultureheadquarters.com, and it is possibly a 99% fake rumor of Nintendo's E3 lineup leaked, and Skyward Sword HD will be shown at E3. It says, update, it turns out that this... Okay, so there's an update saying that it turns out it was someone impersonating someone who was a leaker. But I still want to talk about some of the games listed, because the whole point of this wasn't necessarily the games that they talk about, but more of what we would like to personally see at E3. So we can still go through this and talk about it. They have... I guess we don't have to give any of the details because... or who the person was, because it was someone pretending to be a leaker. But they have Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon, 2 versions of the 8th generation game, Bayonetta 3, Pikmin 4, Skyward Sword HD, and then they have, like, in quotes, HD remake of the Wii game, and I'm like, what else would it be? Like, everybody knows it. Yeah, Super Mario
Maker.
It's
an HD remake of the re-release of the eShop version of the Wii U release of Skyward Sword. Don't you know?
Yeah, but it's like any time that I see details and stuff like this, where like they go into extreme detail, I'm like, how would they? Like, why would they put that detail? But then, like, the last thing that they have down here, it says new unknown IP. And it's like, how would you know? Like, you give a lot of detail about one thing and then no detail about another, which was what pointed out to me saying it was fake. And like he said, he came across this list because he was working at a factory or something, putting together all of the stands and stuff that Nintendo has at E3. And he said this was his list. And it's like, if there was a new unknown IP from Retro Studios, which is what he has listed, the name of that game would likely be on it. Like,
yeah,
you wouldn't know that it was a game developed by Retro Studios if it didn't have the name attached to it. Like, you would know the name before you would know the developer. So, anyways, moving on from Bayonetta 3, it has Pikmin 4th, and then again, weird details, 4th game of the Pikmin series. It's like...
Are you sure? Actually, Pikmin 4 would be the 5th game of the Pikmin series because of Hey Pikmin.
Oh, Hey Pikmin.
The abomination I never bought.
Yeah, so...
was it bad?
Actually, I have no idea. I never played it, but I just saw the trailers and I was like,
okay.
Nope.
No? I don't know. Okay, well, there you go. All right, I don't follow Pikmin very well, so...
All right.
So, moving on, sorry.
Yeah. Skyward Sword HD, Super Mario Maker 2, Smash Bros. For Switch, and then again, the ultimate version of Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U with new major contents and all DLC included, which is something a lot of people thought was going to happen anyway. Luigi's Mansion 3, which I would really love to see. WarioWare, Animal Crossing, another game that people are expecting. Fire Emblem. I think they already announced Fire Emblem. And then Yoshi, Mario Party 11, which has a weird detail saying the 11th game of the Mario Party series for also showcasing Nintendo Switch tech, developed by Indie Cube, and then ending with Retro Studios. And it's like, it feels like, I don't want to be mean to the person, but then he's like pretending to be someone anyway, so I guess it's okay to kind of be mean. But from this list, it's like a very passionate 10-year-old Nintendo fan.
Yeah.
Is who seems...
Now, there because is like a tiny, like, 0.2% chance that this is a real... This is real news. But it's so small of a chance that it's just so tiny.
But it's like, I thought it was funny, the details that he was given. Like, it's Mario Party 11, the 11th game in the series. And then it's like, well, they just had the Mario Party 100. So then it's like, this would
make it
the
12th game.
So it's like, he goes into detail on some of this stuff to like try to explain what it is. Like, giving unnecessary detail, and then the detail isn't even that accurate. So it's like...
and also, Mario Maker 2, it's a sequel, not a port. Also, how would you know that from setting up the display stands? And also, if it's called Mario Maker 2, not like Mario Maker HD or Mario Maker Deluxe, then obviously it's a sequel and not a port.
Yeah. And like,
yeah.
because they did Metroid Prime 4 and they didn't state this is the 4th game in this series.
Because it would be like the 7th game. There's like Prime Hunters, Federation Force. We can't forget Metroid Prime Pinball, the most important game in the Metroid Prime franchise.
What was that for?
I think it was the DS.
DS, okay. I was thinking
it's
Game
very
Boy
important.
Advance for some reason.
Especially if you're trying to figure out the timeline. It has a lot of backstory for Samus's childhood, and no, I'm just making stuff up. So it's pinball.
There was a Timon and Pumbaa game for the Super Nintendo that had a pinball mini game that I would always play. So that
Wait a second. I think I had this game. I think I had a Timon and Pumbaa game.
Yeah. All right. So, Miss Lady Pelvic, what are your overall thoughts on some of these games? Like, what do you think, looking at this, is there anything that you think is just ridiculous or anything that you would actually like to see? Because as much as I would love Skyward Sword HD, I would really love Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Nintendo Switch.
I'm with you there. Out of this list, what I really want, I want Bayonetta 3, which we're getting. Just a matter of when. Luigi's Mansion 3, I would be skeptical of. Like, I want it, but like Luigi's Mansion, like the first game was awesome. The second game was like, I thought it was garbage. I did not like the second game. So hopefully we can go back to how the first game was.
Wait, why didn't you like the second game?
I just wasn't as spooked as I was in the first one. Like the first one, okay, so I don't do horror games, right? So like Luigi's Mansion was like baby's first like real horror game, right? Like holy shit, like I actually got scared. I am a huge chicken shit. Like I can't play Last of Us. I got too scared. I can't play BioShock. I barely made it through Life is Strange. I don't know. I almost quit that game. I couldn't. It's freaking me out. So just to give you an idea.
Life is Strange spooked you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Like, why? That's...
Yeah. Chapter 5, yeah.
Okay.
You should play Resident Evil.
You have to go down... Spoilers. But, like... No. Like, Fatal Frame, you can't get me to play that game. I watched my... What's the girl? There's this girl in a red dress. Dead? Fear. Like, she has, like, the grudge kind of hair. She's in a red dress.
Like
anyone know what I'm talking about?
Scary
But my friend made me watch him play that. I had nightmares that night. I did not. But like Frame, I could never play. I could never. Like Fatal Frame, ever living because like it forces you to come in contact with these horrific creatures. I watched my friend play Dead Space. My friend and I, we did a whole Let's Play on Dead Space on his channel. Not okay. He played it. I did not. I was screaming. I was freaking out.
Did you ever play the PT demo for PlayStation?
Hell no.
Oh.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
But I watched it. It wasn't okay. There was a refrigerator. There was someone screaming. You saw a man. There was a baby in the there's roaches. I don't do roaches are like my least favorite bug. There was just all sorts of nope in that demo for me. So absolutely, there's a girl who like looks at you. She has I can't. No, sir.
Okay. So of the games that you actually made it through playing, I want to know what was the scariest thing that like spooked you the most out of any game? I gotta know. Just off the top of your head.
Out of that I've played?
Yeah, that you actually made it through.
Oh, that I made it through? Yeah, probably Life is Strange or Luigi's Mansion.
That was it. Oh man. Whenever people talk about like scary parts of games, my thought is this one part in Resident Evil 4 that just like freaks the hell out of me.
People in
like
the chat
hallway.
Are saying Fallout and Five Nights at Freddy's for their scary games.
Five Nights at Freddy's is garbage. I'm sorry,
no, it's not.
friends.
It's terrifying.
It's trash.
It's
the thing is, it pops. It's just a jump scare.
Alright, so is this what you were talking about, Pelvic? Super Essence in the chat.
That's my problem. Jump scares are not okay.
Yeah. So Super Essence in the chat says, yo, that Life is Strange bit where the world unravels and she has to avoid people and escape the universe was spooky. So was that what you were talking about?
No, but that also scared the shit out of me.
Oh, man.
No, I'm talking about where you're in a hallway and it's all dark. There's candles because person X
always
dies,
a dark hallway.
maybe if you don't save them. It's always a dark hall, and like you guys don't understand how much of a chicken. I called my friend who's played it. I was like, "Is anything going to come out?" Like I called him. I was like, "Yo, Chad, is anything going to pop out at me at this scene?" I was not joking. I called all my friends. I like fact checked. I like made sure I talked to multiple friends to make sure like they all said the same story. You understand? If I walked down that hallway, the girl was not just saying, no, I don't do horror. I don't do jump scares well. I handle it poorly.
Is it the same for scary movies?
Oh, your girl does not watch scary movies. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
No. You know what's weird though? You know what gets me? It's the suspense and jump scares. I don't do thrillers very well. I don't like suspense because it eats me alive. I pretend I'm the character. I pretend like I'm walking down the hallway. I feel like I'm going to get jumped. I feel like I'm going to get shanked, eaten, stabbed, whatever. You know what I mean? I can't do that. What I can't but it's funny because I like gore. Gore doesn't faze me at all. I could watch gore all day, every day. But
so
like it's
Saw
when they
would be
creep up.
fine, but
Saw's fine. Like I'll cringe. I'll be like, oh, gross, but I can watch it. Horror, when something jumps at me, like The Grudge or The Ring, absolutely not. Not okay. No.
Interesting.
The more you know.
Learn something.
All right. So continuing on the list.
I'm sorry.
No.
So yeah, you learned something about me. So yeah, Bayonetta 3, Luigi's Haunted Mansion. I would really like it. Animal Crossing. I could go for another Animal Crossing because I have New Leaf. You know, I didn't care for the Happy Home designer, but.
Oh, I'm terrified. Like there's.
And then sure, I'm also looking.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say like with the Happy Home designer, that was the cell phone game, right? No, that was the Wii U game.
No, that was Pocket Camp.
Okay, so with the cell phone Pocket Camp Animal Crossing game that they had, I feel bad for everyone that's playing the game because they announced Miitomo to be like their big first gaming mobile game, and then like it connected, like it was supposed to connect with everything and do all that stuff. There's a lot of people that invested a lot of money into it, and they just announced that like it's done. They're not going to be updating it, or like they're going to be completely canceling it. And it makes me wonder, like, are they going to eventually do the same thing with Animal Crossing Pocket Camp? Because there's even more people that are playing Pocket Camp, and it's like...
Well, I think that's the thing, because in Pocket Camp, I don't know, I didn't get into it, but there might be more to do, because Miitomo was very limited. You know, you change your outfit, you play your free daily thing. If you have tickets, you play more, unless you don't care about the outfits that they're offering for the tickets, so then you just stop playing. Like you log in, get your daily coins, and then you just stop. You know, it wasn't enough to keep people going. I remember like a week or two afterward, people were like, "So Miitomo's dead." Everyone was like everyone turned off their notifications. We didn't care. Like you put like, what's your favorite food? Sushi. Cool. Like you know, you only commented to get. So you had like half-assed comments like "cool," "LOL," smiley face. It just there was no substance. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Pocket Camp has to do. No, so
I'm hoping they at least keep Pocket Camp up and then have some sort of connection with the Animal Crossing for Switch. So then maybe it's like, hey, everyone who loved and supported Pocket Camp, here is Animal Crossing for Switch, whatever subtitle they give it. And it's like whatever items you have in your house, whatever you've earned in Pocket Camp, as a thank you for supporting our new venture into the mobile market, you can transfer all of that stuff to Nintendo Switch. So you automatically start with a bunch of this stuff that you've gathered. And then it's not just...
That would be cool.
Yeah, like now it gives you... Because when it comes out on the Switch, a lot of people, I assume, are going to stop playing it on their smartphone. So if they have that connectivity to where it's like, well, my Switch is home, but I'm at work on break or something, I have 10 minutes to play around on some mobile game, and then you can just like get some stuff on Pocket Camp, and then when you get home you can transfer it to your Switch, and it would be a way to not just have people buy the game on Switch, but continue playing and purchasing stuff on the mobile game. So I think that would be some really good crossover if Nintendo thinks about doing something like that, because I also thought they should have done something with Mario Odyssey and Mario Run on smartphones, because like someone who bought Super Mario Run for like $10 or $15, however much it was, and once you get through like one or two levels, when Mario Odyssey came out, I was thinking it would be cool if Nintendo was like, hey, we see you really enjoy playing Super Mario Run. Here is a $5 coupon or something to get like $5 off of Super Mario Odyssey, because then it's like someone who may have the Switch but for some reason isn't interested in getting the game. If they're like, oh, I can save $5 on the game, that might give them that extra push to purchase Super Mario Odyssey. So those were just some like ways to make their mobile games and their actual games connected with each other that I was thinking.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah. So anyways, sorry for interrupting you. Cool. Keep going, Pelvic.
No, you're fine. I also think the WarioWare, I would be excited for that because I love Wario Smooth Moves on the Wii. That is like my favorite party game of all time. I have never laughed and had so much joy in a game because it's so random, it's so gross, it's so funny, it's so what the hell, like it was awesome. Like the one on the Wii U is fine, like it's okay, but the one on the Wii was just, and then sure, I'll put my eggs in the new unknown IP. Oh no, it's a horror game. I didn't know. I didn't read that line. It's never mind. Take it out. Nope.
Retracted.
Whatever that mystery horror game. Just throw it away.
But retro.
Squash it. So yeah.
That's another thing that made me think this was fake. That like they have Retro Studios listed, but there's nothing from like Grezzo, who worked on all of the Zelda remakes and then Ever Oasis. Or at least the 3DS remakes, not the Wii U remakes. And like even with the like they don't have many of like they listed Retro Studios, but there's no other second party studios listed like Grezzo, and it's like the big rumor right now is Grezzo's working on some sort of Zelda thing for the Nintendo Switch, whether it's bringing like I'm in favor since it's 2018 now. Daniel's heard this 1,000 times. 2018 is the 20th anniversary of Ocarina of Time. What's a better way to celebrate the 20th anniversary than to release an official HD remake? Especially since the game on 3DS is already made, they can just port it over like they do with the other 3DS games.
My goddamn mind.
Yeah. So I think that would be perfect. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this list, Daniel?
The article mentions also that the rumor about Grezzo working on an HD Zelda game, kind of at the top of the article before the actual post that it is citing, trying to, I guess, put a connection to that, like saying maybe what Grezzo's working on is Skyward Sword HD.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical because I still hold on to my belief that Skyward Sword HD will come out in 2021. Just because that's sort of what the trend has been. The
10th anniversary, like they did with Twilight Princess.
Exactly, and that would be great. 10 years after Skyward Sword, we get the HD, and everyone will be like, "But it just came out," and then they realize that 10 years came. It's exactly what happened with Twilight Princess. Yeah. I had friends who I posted the trailer on Facebook. They're like, "This game's not even old though," and I was like, "Hey, guess what? It came out 10 years ago." And they're like, "What?
It's a GameCube game."
I know.
Yeah.
See, the thing is,
2006, bro.
The reason people see that is because it went Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and then you're getting a Twilight Princess remake, and it's like, but it was like it's not the last game, but it was the game before the last. Yeah. So it's like it's only 2 games old. Why are they remaking it? So
Nintendo, they don't do it fast, like we said earlier.
Yeah, expect the next Zelda game in 2022.
Exactly. No, really, dude. That's very reasonable. Yeah. But yeah, I would love to see some of these games. Like, obviously, Prime 4 we already know is in development. We already know that Yoshi and Animal Crossing are happening. I don't know if I want an ultimate version of Smash because same thing with Mario Kart. I already bought it. I already bought all the DLC. I already bought 50 amiibos. But with the Switch, I know that I will have to get it again because unlike Mario Kart, like Smash with my friends and my brothers especially, I have 3 brothers. Smash is like a big thing with us, especially my brother that's nearest in age to me. And we're very competitive with it. And Mario Kart we've always enjoyed, right? For some people, like Mario Kart is like their jam in their household, right? It's always been Smash for me. So it's like, especially if I'm going over to my brother's house, you know, and I just bring my Switch over, like Smash, you know, it just. I will have to buy it if they do it. It frustrates me because I don't want to buy it again. If it's the same game, I want them to make a new Smash. Poor Sakurai is going to burn out his brain working on it. But
well, the rumor was Bendo Nemkai was working on the port for Super Smash Brothers, but it was my hope that because we seen games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe come out so soon after Mario Kart 8, and it was just the deluxe version with the DLC included. But if it comes out towards the end of this year or next year for Smash Brothers, there's a long enough time there that passes that I think they could actually have worked on a complete sequel and release it. And then instead of people having to buy the same set of amiibo, they can buy Smash Bros. Amiibo with slightly altered positions.
Now I'm gonna have to buy those too.
Yeah, but the reason that
I'm very into my amiibo collecting. So.
The reason that a lot of people think that Smash Brothers on the Wii U and 3DS took so long to come out, which it kind of did, but I remember there was a Nintendo Direct where Nintendo announced or the developer, the producer, whatever his name, I forgot. It was Sakurai, right?
Yeah.
Sakurai,
Sakurai.
So Sakurai announced that he was going to be working on the Smash Brothers game for the Wii U. I don't know if they announced the 3DS version at that time, but that was also the same time that he also, during that Nintendo Direct, announced that he was going to be working on Kid Icarus for the 3DS. So he said that once Kid Icarus is finished, they're going to begin working on Smash Brothers. And I think that's why a lot of people think that it took so long for Smash Brothers to come out, because when they think of when Smash Brothers was first announced, it didn't start development until maybe a year or two later. And then when they did start development, they were working on the Wii U and the 3DS, one of which is very, very limited on what it can do compared to the Wii U. So like they essentially had to make two very different versions of the same game that were also similar enough to where it didn't feel like a downgrade. So
and that's an impressive accomplishment, just as a side note, because Smash is not a light game. The first game was like graphically inferior to most like other N64 games at the time. But like Brawl, for example, actually broke people's Wiis because
you could see the stitches on Mario's.
Yeah, and it was a very like intensive game for the Wii, and they had to do dual layering on the disc, I think it's called.
Yeah,
they had to use dual layer disc, and because it was it reads differently, it like actually broke people's Wiis because this game was so huge, and. And to have that, and then Nintendo was having to like either I think refund or send repairs or like
normal Wii games are like 4 gigabytes, and then Smash Brothers was 8 gigabytes, and there were some other games that were 8 gigabytes as well. Like I think if you buy the Metroid Prime trilogy and then maybe Skyward Sword.
But so to have that and to have a game that basically is like the next iteration of that and run on a handheld, like that's an accomplishment to me, like to have that work and to work as well as Smash does on the 3DS. So that's my kudos for the day.
So what are you going to do if they do release this new Smash Brothers and they release all of the same Smash Brothers amiibo, but it is, instead of Link in his Smash Brothers position, he's in a slightly different position? Like it's just like very minor tweaks. So they're essentially the same. It's just like now his sword's raised a little bit higher.
Oh no. I'm going to have to buy it. I'm going to be sad for one day, and then that'll turn around to excitement as closer we get to a release date, and then I'm going to be all giddy and I'm going to be broke.
All right. Well,
I spend too much money on amiibos.
Before we move on to the question, Pelvic, what is your dream game to be announced at E3? Whether it's a third-party game like Overwatch being announced, or a game like Luigi's Mansion 3, which as of right now is unannounced. What would be your dream announcement?
My dream announcement? I don't
Yes.
know. I haven't even thought about that. I could have like one game just. If they announced another Zelda game, that'd be great. That'd be a dream. That'd be a miracle. They just
That
announced
would be.
Zelda, like a full-fledged Zelda. I mean, not just a dream, but a miracle.
Mhm.
I would be very happy. Like or like, I'm not gonna lie, a dream game. If they remade Majora's Mask like HD, did you see that fan made Majora's Mask Supreme? Oh my god, if they released something like that, I would lose it. But I guess I would say, you gotta put me on the spot. Like, this is something I had to think about, you know? From this list, I would choose Luigi's Haunted Mansion. I feel like that would just be like mind-blowing. Holy crap, Luigi's getting love, guys. This is not a drill. Luigi is getting love, you know?
What about
that
not
would
from
be
this list?
Super. Why you keep putting me in these like difficult positions, man?
Zelda.
Not from this. So yeah, I just want another damn Zelda game, man. Damn it. I don't know. I haven't really thought of like, wow, if they announced this. You know, one of my one of the games I wished, but they announced it, was The World Ends With You, or a World Ends With You sequel. That would have been fantastic. That would have blew my mind. But we're getting a remake, like a remake plus, which is fine because it's an old game, so I'm not too mad about that.
Yeah, there's an indie game called Lost in the Woods or something like that. I've heard a lot of people excited for it. It's like
The indie game.
yeah, it's like I think it's called Lost in the Woods or
Sorry.
something like that. But I'm excited to try it because I was watching another podcast and they kept talking about how great the game was and that they're excited to replay it because it's coming out on the Nintendo Switch where it was on PC, and it has a lot of additional content for the Switch version, so I'm excited for that. But what is a dream game?
Oh, Lost Woods?
It's like Lost in the Woods or something. I'll look it up.
Lost in the Woods. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, you mean Night in the Woods?
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Do you mean Night in the Woods?
Night
You
in the
mean that
Woods.
one, because yes, I'm excited for that game. Yeah. Yes.
Lost in
Where
the
it's
Woods
a black
is a
cat
different
and has like a
game.
really interesting.
Yeah.
So wait, Lost in the Woods or Night in the Woods?
Lost
Because
in
Night
the Woods
I'm
is a
excited
different game. Night in the Woods is the game that I was talking about, where you play as the cat and then it's very story driven. So
yes, that game I'm super hyped for. When I saw it was announced for the Switch, I'm with you there. That game, hell yeah.
Oh,
that, and I'm excited for. Yeah, you should. It looks so good, and I've wanted to play it since the dawn of time. But
I'm just looking it up, and I like that art style. Like, it looks so very like, you know, the animated. God, it looks like a kids show, and it's just, I don't know. It just yeah, I like that. I want to play that, and it got a 9 out of 10. Yeah, that's.
apparently it focuses
I learned
on some like
something.
societal issues, and I'm like, okay, like I want to know about this. It just looks fun. It has a sense of mystery. Not gonna lie, certain parts kind of scared me. I looked at like some trailers, some gameplay. I was like, I don't know if I could play this, guys.
Too spooky. Too spooky for you.
No, it's a night in the woods. You know, you're in the woods at night, and like, you know, the character has like big red eyes. I'm like, oh my god, the main character's gonna freak me out.
all right. Well, I'm going to buy the game, but before I buy it, I am going to reach out to the developers since it is an indie game and see if I can get some download codes. And if I do get some, I'll send you one as well. Pelvet. So.
Aw,
But not me.
shucks. Oh, thanks. That would be awesome.
I send you every time I get game
I'll
codes.
tell you
I'll
about
send
it.
it to you.
I know. I was actually playing a couple. I don't know if we should talk about it here on the podcast, but I was playing some of the indie games that you sent me the codes for, and with mixed feelings. But we can talk about that.
I think they're all released now. Like when I sent it to you, they
one
were
of them had
going
an
to be
unboard
coming
mode.
out for like 2 or 3 weeks, but they're all done now. So
Yeah.
One game I'm really excited. It's already announced. It's coming out February like 13th or something, 16th, one of these. But the last 5 minutes. The longest 5 minutes. I am so excited for that game. I am so excited.
I've heard of that game. The
It's
longest.
it's an RP or it's an RPG. And what like the twist is, you start off at the final boss, and then you go through your memories. That's where the gameplay is, and try to remember why you're at the boss, like why you're fighting the Demon King. And I'm like, that is such a cool opening, kind of like instant like attention grabber. Like boom, here's the final boss. Yeah. Awesome. Why are we here? We don't know.
That's the only time I've seen something like that. So
yeah,
it's a really interesting way to do the story. But yeah, yes. Daniel, what is your dream game for this year's E3?
If they do, okay, there's two, I guess. One, I would say, if it's sort of off this list, if they give us Pikmin 4 and it's a real, like, as good quality as Pikmin 3, but maybe
what if it's a
little bit
of the
longer
3DS version?
No.
Oh, that groan of dissatisfaction.
No 3DS port of Pikmin.
I'm talking like funny. The level, like of the Pikmin 3, but longer. Freaking Pikmin 3 was bloody brilliant. I like almost never got it because I always saw Pikmin and I was like, I
got that game as I bought a game on the Wii U, and Nintendo used to do like some weird promotion to where like if you bought one game, they would give you another game on Nintendo Club as like a free thing.
Oh.
So I remember I bought Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and I got Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS for free. And then I bought some game on the Wii U, and I got Pikmin 3 as the free download.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was... I bought it because they did a free demo of it, so I played the demo, and I just loved it to bits. And then I went out to buy it, and then it was on Nintendo Select. So that was awesome. So then I scored it for like $30. And... man, no, it's a phenomenal game, but it's really short. But like you can play it over and over and over again, and so like that.
I think you cut out, Daniel. You're froze for me.
Okay, cool. I was like,
okay.
He's back. He's back.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right, finish what you were saying, Daniel.
Sorry. What was the last thing I said?
You bought
heard?
it for the Nintendo Select for $30?
Oh yeah, and it was awesome. But I really liked that game, and it's great that there's like this element of strategy because you have the 3 characters instead of just the one. And yeah, it's just a bloody brilliant game, but it's too short. That's the only problem. So if they do Pikmin 4, I just want it to be longer. That's my only thing. Like, the Pikmin games have all been pretty, like, I think it's like, 30-day cycles that you get, and that's it. But, yeah, no, there's a lot of extra content as well. And also another game where I bought all the DLC, because Nintendo's just got my wallet, like a little fishing line. It just sinks it in, it pulls my credit card out. So, yeah, that would be my dream announcement if they do it. My other one would be if they had something similar. This kind of ties into, I think, a question we've gotten a number of times, and it's come up in the podcast before. But if they do a quick turnaround game with Breath of the Wild's assets, like they did with Majora's Mask with Ocarina of Time's assets, that would just be... Whew,
oh my god.
Whew,
oh my god. Yes.
That got me worked up. So.
Yes. Okay, that's true. I'll change my dream game to that. If they gave me like a Termia, but like open world, there's like a... Here's all my damn money.
Yeah.
All
it's just because Majora's Mask they developed in it was like a year because they had they were like challenged to do so, and that worked out well. So,
yeah, it's
fantastic.
Weird because it's one of the only games that, or at least the only Nintendo games that the entire reason that it was made was because they agreed to basically rush the game. Where most Zelda games and most Nintendo games are like they get delayed. Yeah, especially Zelda games. So it's like to see one that the entire purpose of it was for Aonuma to rush it. It's like, why don't they do that more instead of releasing one major Zelda game every 5-6 years? Take 2 years and keep like releasing. Yeah, because even with Wind Waker came out like only a couple
It was only
of
2 years later.
Yeah, after Majora's
2002.
Mask. So, like, they finished Ocarina of Time, which took 5 to 7 years, I think. So they finished Ocarina of Time, and then they made Majora's Mask in like a year, but then they released it after 2 years. And then they released Wind Waker after 2 years. And then Twilight Princess was like 5 years. So it's like, instead of doing that, they should just like... Breath of the Wild came out last year, so maybe next year release whatever, like the Majora's Mask version of Breath of the Wild would be. That would be really
I would lose my goddamn mind. I would literally freak the hell out. Oh my god.
Breath of the Wild 2. Link goes back to Termina.
Yeah. Well, now we're just talking real like dream game, but
that would be
not likely, but definitely the dream game. But you know, you mentioned that time, like Wind Waker coming out like only 2 years later. Like that was a hella time to be a Zelda fan. Just thinking about it. Time comes out in 1998. 2 years later, you get 2000. Majora's Mask comes out. Then you got both the Oracle games coming out in 2001. And in 2002, you get Wind Waker, and then Minish Cap shortly after. And it's just like, blah, all this Zelda. You got your handhelds coming at you. You got your consoles, like 3 console games in like 4 years. Like, yeah, that's what a time to be alive. I miss those days.
Yeah, and then it's like, I remember, like, okay, so by the time you play Wind Waker, if you're in middle school, you would be graduated from high school and in college before Twilight Princess came out.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then, I was in high school when Twilight Princess came out, though, so I think I'm a little bit younger than you, Jesse, but it's I remember that was well, then again,
well, I wasn't
like
out of high
Skyward
school when
Sword
Twilight Princess came out. I was just saying.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know,
like,
but
someone who was, like, they could have been.
Yeah. But between what is it, Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild, we actually got, I don't know what I'm saying, we got so much stuff in that time as well, because
a lot of remakes.
Skyward Sword, well, yeah, basically like all of the games got remade. So and plus there's like A Link Between Worlds, and then Ocarina of Time 3D, or no, Ocarina of Time 3D was before Skyward Sword. So it was Majora's Mask 3D, Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, not in that order, Hyrule Warriors, Link jumps into Mario Kart. That was a great time to be a Zelda fan. It's never a bad time to be a Zelda fan, I guess. So, yeah. It's just there's a drought where between Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, where all we had was Link's crossbow training.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
Maybe that's why people bought it. They need their fix, you know?
That's why it's sold so well. No wonder.
They figured it out.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that brings us to our questions.
Yeah. All right.